It's showtime. How are we doing, everybody? Listen, can someone give me a 5x5? We are in a storm at the moment, and we did have one on the other live stream, so that's probably why all of the signal and all went glitchy and stuff. So it'll be really interesting to know if the audio and indeed the visual is good right from the offset. I know it's easy to go 5x5, and that's what happened, but it turned out the imagery was crap. So hopefully we're going to get this sorted. Now, what I've just done about 10 minutes ago is completely turn all of the Wi-Fi off, shut the computer down, give it 10 minutes, and then start it all up again. That's usually how I roll with live streams when we got a storm. So it's looking like we're okay. All working. Good. Okay, then. So we've got lots and lots of people saying that the audio and visual's good. So if that's the truth, I'm just gonna have to trust you guys, because I did the other day, and when I rewatched it, it was awful. So I'm really hoping that it is okay. Yes, what are we going to talk about tonight? Wow. Learn how we are all being tricked. We are, big time. And it's all about this digitalization. Okay, so everything seemingly needs to become digital, and they are putting it out there that this is of the utmost importance. So okay, so look at that, painted preppers, air guns, perfect tonight, so that's good. I don't know if you can hear the storm, but yeah, it's blowing a hoolie out there. As a lot of you know, I'm stuck up on a mountain, and it gets some real weather out here. No, we're not protected in some row of houses in the street. We're literally right out in it, and it's radio rental with the weather. We're just going to get started real quick. Like I'm saying, I'm just waiting to see the confirmations. It looks like the signal and the video is good. So that's awesome. Speaking about the storm, we are going to be getting one in UK tomorrow, quite a severe one by the look of it. Don't forget, we just had one the other day, so that's made everything really wet, and it's made everything really loose regards trees. This storm that's coming tomorrow, that could cause some big issues, okay, especially if you're in rural parts of the UK, mainly the west side of the UK. But yeah, we're going to get a big dump of rain tomorrow, and massively long periods of sustained high winds. So yeah, we are going to see trees come down, and we are going to have power cuts. All right, you'd be doing very well not to have a power cut tomorrow. The only way you might get out of it is if you're in the city somewhere, but if you're in the sticks, yeah, it's coming. Right, okay, so we're going to get straight onto it. Digital. How do we feel about all of this? Do you know what? Let me just quickly go into YouTube, because I've done a poll. I can't see it on StreamYard. I don't know why they do that, but it is what it is. Just waiting to see it up. Right, we've got 308 votes just now. Can you have freedom in a digital world? 87% of you who's voted said no, you can't. And I agree. I think personally, it's going to be impossible to have the degree of freedom which I feel we are all in agreement that we deserve to have, but we are not. So, trying to have freedom in a digital society ain't going to happen. Sorry. You can try. You're going to really need to know the right people. You're going to need to be seriously clever with all of the latest tech and the fundamental understanding of how every single independent component works within that electronic digital device. How many people are like that? Not that many. So that's one of the reasons why the powers that be, whoever they are, have been getting away with all of this for such a long time. Now, who remembers back in the day when we all had tape decks, cassettes, VHS? Even the VHS, the video player, was quite technical, wasn't it? Do you remember when you took the lid off and you put a cassette in, and all of the cogs and all of the mechanisms moved, and it stretched the tape and it played it. See, that was quite advanced technology back then. It was really, really difficult to really understand. Put it this way, if you were to try and recreate that piece of kit equipment in your shed with odds and sods lying around, you just couldn't do it. Fast forward to where we are now in 2024, the smartphones and the smart devices are unbelievably so advanced. I would say 90% of the global population have no idea how they work. So isn't it a coincidence that most people have got these devices and most people haven't got a clue how they work? Developer settings, etc. Software architects, coding experts. Not many people really are experts in this field. And I do realize the younger generation are literally being pushed into this paradigm, which is not looking good for the rest of us. We'll touch on all of these bits and pieces as we go on. So the biggest thing that they want all of us to have on the planet before they can do anything else is a digital ID, a digital identification. So what do we know about ID so far? Well, it's obvious. Passport, driving license, any sort of medical card or whatever it is. Basically, it needs to be like a photo ID, and it's going to have probably some degree of biometrics installed within that card. Okay, so that is what we are understanding of regards identification. Okay, so first of all, they are going to be rolling out an ID card. Okay, they don't really want people walking around carrying their birth certificates, their passports, their driving licenses. If you get mugged, it gets stolen, it gets changed or altered or whatever. You could lose your identity and they can literally take over your life pretty much. So first of all, they're going to want to get everyone to have an ID card. If they are unsuccessful with that, they are going to go with a phone, a smartphone. Okay, they're going to try and get a digital ID within that unique device, that smartphone. So the IMEI number, the MAC address, everything else is going to be assigned probably to an IP address for the user. Okay, so that is where it's going to be. It's either going to be card, highly possible the phone. Once that's going to be trialed out for a period of time, it's then going to be transferred to a wearable. Okay, so a watch, a tag, if you will, something which is going to clip onto or wrap around or tie or whatever to the body. So this is going to allow you to gain access to your property, your vehicle, your workplace, etc. Okay, then once there's going to be a certain amount of all of these people literally complying and taking part with this BS, then it's going to be implanted. Now, who heard years ago now that there was a trial of this actually happening in Sweden? Let me know in the chat, in the live chat. Incidentally, if you do want to leave a comment or you want to take part in the chat, you are going to need to subscribe to the channel. That's how it all is now. So that's what's happening. If you're wondering, you can't type anything in, just click over to my page, subscribe, and then you can just type away. Right. So yes, that is where they want all of this to go. Digitalization. It is a trap. So basically, the long and the story short is they want to, we're talking about the World Economic Forum, the United Nations, the WHO, etc., all pretty much combined under one umbrella, but it's going to be literally led, by the look of it, by the UN with their Sustainable Development Goals, etc. The World Economic Forum is a part of that. I still believe that the UN is more powerful than the World Economic Forum. Maybe that will change, maybe not, but that's what I believe from what I understand. Looking into this since 2012, so you've got the Trilateral Commission, you've got the World Bank, all of these other subsidiaries which work alongside with the public face of the power struggle, pretty much. So all of these things are happening at the same time, and they can't do anything unless everyone has a digital ID. So once everyone's got a digital ID, everything's going to be connected. We're going to talk about Internet of Things and lots of other stuff as we go through this. And there's serious fundamental implications on not just mine, but all of the people that we know. Our freedoms are literally at stake here with what they want to do. So they want everything online, everything digital. Everyone has a digital ID. Once that happens, guess what their plan is? To do on purpose a global cyber attack. Yes. So they want everyone to literally exist with an internet connection, and every single thing that they own, which is electronic, to be digital and not analog. Everything will be connected. They can't be successful in their hideous agenda by causing this global cyber attack unless everything's connected. It needs to be connected. So to get like the most desirable effect, you've heard of the New World Order, order out of chaos, and it's exactly what they are planning to do, to digitalize the whole world, get everyone connected, where it's very hard or almost impossible to survive without that connection. Once that happens, then the cyber attack comes, and even the World Economic Forum done this back in 2016. Yeah, they already put it out there. The writing's been on the wall for a long time now. We're in 2024. Digital ID is going to be rolled out probably between this year and 2030. We're going to go on to other stuff regarding all of this as well. So hold tight. Okay, so if you're in the UK or the US, there doesn't seem to be much news or updates in those two countries in particular regarding digital ID. But let me tell you this, the stuff that's going on around the world, and it has been for a while, is unbelievable. It's incredible. Do you know what? It's almost like the US and the UK and our researchers that we have in communities. It's almost like it's not trendy to look into what other countries are doing. It's almost like we've got an ego problem where the only countries who matter is the UK and the US. Everyone else, secondary, not really interested. But this is where we need to start looking into things. Does anyone know what's been going on in Africa over the last 4 or 5 years? It'll blow your mind. Literally, Africa is being taken over by China and so many other nefarious organizations like the World Economic Forum and Russia and everything else. It's unbelievable what's happening in Africa. It really, really is. Moreover, in Nigeria. Now, Nigeria is like the biggest state or whatever within Africa, and the most wealthy. There was literally come straight on board with crypto as soon as it kicked off back in 2015, 2016. It went crazy there. But 0.5% of the population of Nigeria refused to use their government central bank digital currency. They just refused it point blank. So you're talking centralization and decentralization of currencies, i.e. digital currencies. I'm not talking paper money. Okay. Like I'm saying, all of this needs to be linked. If they can't link it, they're literally not going to have their one world government. Okay. So we are going to show the plan. Okay. So I need to see if, there we go. Let me just put that down there so you can see the full screen. Boom. Right. Okay. The fourth industrial revolution. What it means? How to respond, Mr. Schwab. Look at this. What a lovely picture. We've got a beautiful countryside in the winter. It looks like it's somewhere in the UK. And a hideous technocratic drone. Disgusting. And underneath it, look at that. That could be confused with plastic explosive. So I don't like the look of this at all. All right. So this is official. This is on the World Economic Forum website. Look at the date. 2016. Wow. The same month. Okay. So here's a brief outline of what's happened with all of the revolutions in the past. Now, I've highlighted some key points which we really need to make sure we fully understand before we continue this, all right? So the possibilities of billions of people connected by mobile devices with unprecedented processing power, storage capacity, and access to knowledge are unlimited. Artificial intelligence, robots, the Internet of Things, IoT, autonomous vehicles, 3D printing, nanotechnology, biotechnology, materials science, energy storage, and quantum computing. Yes, if you want a really seriously well-funded nefarious organization, which is 100% technocratic, look no further. The impact on government. Look at this. Governments will gain new technological powers to increase their control over populations. How sick is that statement alone? Going to let that sink in. Governments will gain new technological powers to increase their control over populations. Unbelievable. The gall of it. The fourth industrial revolution will also profoundly impact the nature of national and international security. Think cyber warfare. Okay? They've actually put it in brackets. Now, we're going to go into this in a sec, all right? You could literally just go on and on and on. So all you need to do is just go into your search engine and put the fourth industrial revolution, WF, and this will come up, okay? Just thought it was very important to get that point out there. They're literally putting their plan out there. Now, if you read between the lines of that statement, which we've just skimmed over very briefly, they're more or less saying that they can't continue with this revolution until everyone has a digital ID. So, bonus points. What former British person has a big hand in the rollout of digital ID? Answers on a postcard. His name begins with the letter T. Yes, it's like that horrible old ghost which is coming back to haunt us all. We'll see in the live chat. I know there's a lag. Nope. No, we can't wait too long. All right, then. I'm going to kill it. Oh, yeah, there we go. Boom. Tony Blair. Exactly. Beardbox, well done. Another member. Awesome. Yes, indeed. Tony Blair, that hideous person who is a member of no other than the Fabian Society. We've already talked about this. Lots of my regulars, lots of my veterans to the channel will know all about when I uncovered the Fabian Society and the C40 cities and all of the people involved in that. It's a bit strange that they're all part of this pretty much secret society. And if you want to look into the Fabian Society, one of their logos is literally a wolf in sheep's clothing and with a hammer reshaping the world. So if you want something really sinister, look into the Fabian Society. And pretty much most of the Labour Party are Fabians. So yes, not very nice. Anyway, before we go down another rabbit hole with all of that sort of stuff, you guys in the chat are awesome. So digital stuff. Let me just bring my notes over here because I've been busy this afternoon. Now, think about it this way. The more complex the design, the higher the risk of failure. Excuse me. I'm sure that will make sense to a lot of people, okay? So the more components, the more different parts that rely on other parts to work, the more complicated it is, the higher the chance of it failing. Just say, you know, you've got a computer. It's got 1,000 different parts on it. One tiny little part fails. Guess what? The whole computer's done. And sometimes it takes a while to find out why it's not working, because you literally got to do a process called fault finding usually from a power source all the way through as it goes through the circuitry to find out why it's not working. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Complicated things are more likely to fail. That, in my opinion, is just pure frigging common sense. Okay. When I used to teach survival and survival courses, I always said to the students, always learn to use a map and a compass. Okay. Forget GPS. Don't even bother. Think about a map and a compass, because let me tell you this, the chances are that when you're out on the hills and the weather turns in and you want to find out where you are, you put your GPS on, you can't get signal, it's got wet, it doesn't work, you forgot to charge it up, it hasn't been updated, it can't get signal, all of these stupid, ridiculous things which that advanced piece of digital technology needs to actually just work. Think about it more simply. You've got a map and you've got a compass. Learn how to use them. There's nothing that can go wrong. The only thing that's going to go wrong if you use a map and a compass is if you lose them or drop them or get them wet or drive over them. But that's just pure common sense. We're talking about devices which will not let you down. Like I said at the start of this video, they want everyone to have digital everything. We're not even going to talk about Human 2.0. If anyone wants me to talk about that, let me know in the comment section under the video, because that is fascinating. It's truly friggin' scary and horrific, but nonetheless, it will need to be talked about at some point as we go forward with all of this. Okay. So who remembers like the old cars when you used to have the wind up window with the handle? Less to go wrong. Look at the engine of an old car. You open it up, there's loads of room in the engine bay for the engine. Why? Because it's easy to get to all of the components of that engine. And you could literally do it yourself. Lots of people used to do car maintenance back in the 60s, 70s, and even in the 80s. Okay, lots of people used to work on their own cars. Why? Because it was a lot easier to get a Haynes manual. Who remembers Haynes manuals? They're ridiculously hard to get hold of now, and they're very expensive too. It would just literally tell you everything you need to do to strip your entire car down and put it back together again. Look at it now. Look at the EVs. You open up the bonnet, if it's got a bonnet, and it's probably just got a great big plastic box computer thing. Insane. How many people have the know-how, the expertise and prowess to maintain an EV? Probably no one. We're going to get onto EVs as we go through, so hold tight to that one. So we're talking about older, more reliable things, moreover analog. Okay, the more analog your life is, the more control you are going to have for yourself. Now, I can't really say any simpler than that. The more digital things that you have in your life, the more things can absolutely go wrong. The more digital your life is, the more easier it is for them to control you. Now you have to ask the question, do you want to empower yourself, or would you rather sacrifice convenience for your freedom? It literally comes down to that. And everyone is different. Like I said on a live stream the other day, everyone's different, everyone's unique. Everyone's got their own experiences. Everyone's got their own levels of awareness. Okay. It's not about who's thick or who's smart. It's nothing to do with that. You just have to try and realize that everyone is developing at their own pace, at their own rate. No one knows it all, and everyone is uniquely different. It's fundamental to understand just that simple fact, actually. So all of these things, like I said, which made life easier because you could do it yourself. You didn't have to rely on anyone else. What about hand tools? Who's got hand tools in their house? Who's got hand tools in their car? Spanners, hammers, screwdrivers, etc. The second you start going down the new technology road with cordless drivers and battery power backs and chargers and things like this, sometimes they're going to go wrong. They're going to let you down. Having a hand tool, a good quality old one preferably, personally, I always get secondhand stuff for two reasons. One is because I can't afford the new stuff. Two, the old stuff is way better made than the new stuff. So my logical brain tells me get the old stuff. It's cheaper and it's much better made. It makes friggin' sense. If you want to go to B&Q like we got in the UK, or if you're in America and you go to Lowe's and you get all of that cheap crap, which is made in China, you know, if the really crap Chinese steel, and it comes in fancy packaging and it all looks cool and shiny and stuff, you give it some serious hard use, guess what? That piece of crap is going to bend, break, snap, let you down. Go old school, go to car boot sales, go to antique shops, go to charity shops, go to auctions, whatever it is, or even Gumtree, second-hand stuff. Get better quality, well-made stuff. You're going to end up with a stronger tool and you're going to end up with more money left over. It's logical. I mean, I really like to think that you don't really need me to tell you that. But like I said, everyone's different. Everyone's, you know, of a different mindset. That's just what I do. So, what else have we got? Smartphones. Oh, smartphones. Ha 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 ha. Smartphones. Now, yes, love them or hate them, they are probably one of the #1 surveillance devices available on planet Earth right now. And lots of people have them. Even in like developing countries, lots of people seem to have smartphones now. There's all sorts of incentives, government grants, low income help and advice from independent local governments around the world to ensure that everyone is going to have a smartphone. Okay. Personally, what I do with mine is I put a little piece of card over the camera because I just don't like being watched. Most of the time, especially when I'm with my partner and we're doing some serious talking, do you know what we do? We get both of our phones, we turn them off, and we put them both in the microwave and shut the door. That is one quick way to ensure that you are not being spied on. Okay. Not only phones, TVs. Now, I've done a YouTube video, I don't know, probably less than a year ago now. It's had massive views, and the comments on that video is unbelievable. Telling people about smart TVs are actually spying on people, and the amount of like asleep people, should we say, who commented saying, no, that's just a conspiracy theory, don't be silly. Well, you know, I do believe that we have some people here right now who think absolutely they spy on us. And let's look at this. This only come out, I think it was today or yesterday, very recent. Look, yes, your Samsung Smart TV has been listening in your conversations. We know about this. It really is. Well, look at this. Look, this, look, 8 years ago. 8 years ago. But guess what? They've only been talking about this yesterday. Okay. How weird that this was mentioned 8 years ago and it's being talked about again. There is some weird stuff going on right now where we're trying to understand the original release date of some information. I don't know about you guys, but it's really, really bizarre. I'm finding all of the major mainstream news outlets are talking about an event or whatever that's happened on the day. And when you find out what happened from the original source, it was like 2 weeks ago. There's a lot of that stuff going on, mate. Look at this. 8 years ago, and this was literally being talked about yesterday afternoon in the mainstream press. Unbelievable. We are having all sorts of strange stuff with reality going on. Look at this. If you got yourself a Samsung Smart TV with voice recognition software, there's a good chance that someone's been listening to you. This is absolutely truth. Okay. If you don't believe me, go and watch that video. Let me see. Right, okie dokie. Come on. This bloody storm. Oh, it had to be a bloody advert, didn't it? Just bear with me, guys. Right. We're just going to go to the share screen, right? Because I'm pretty sure that not everyone's seen this. Right. Here we go. Right. Your smart TV has a hidden camera and records you. Okay. This was 1 year ago. Right. 280,000 people watched this video. The comment section is just unbelievable with what people are discovering about that. Okay. Like I said, a year ago, we've already talked about this. Now, I was told by a good friend of mine to check. So what I've done was I got my torch. Oh, where is it? Always carry a torch on you. Got my torch, turned it on, boom, and I went around the frame of my TV. Now, underneath on my Samsung TV, on the bottom right-hand side, there's a tiny little bit underneath the frame, and I put my torch in it. And when I've done that, you can clearly see two very, very small camera lenses. And I think it's one or two, I can't remember. I think it might have just been one, like an LED light. Okay, so every time you use your remote control, the little send and receive light sort of comes back to confirm that the signal is being sent from your remote to the TV, etc. But how many people knew that it's got cameras on there, literally just recording you, just watching you? If you don't know about this, I know this is going to be a shock. Do you know what I've done? The quick, simple way to fix that is to get a lump of blue tack the size of a pea and push it over that screen so there's no camera lens visible. Okay, that is the quick, easy way which I've done to defeat that horrible surveillance bug. Now, another thing as well, it's actually in the remote control and in the TV itself, there are microphones in there, which I believe you can't turn off. The only way that you can turn them off is you need to open up your TV set and your remote control and find out where these microphones are and physically remove them. I don't think it's a case of plugging a laptop into your computer and disabling them. It is available in the settings, but they're grayed out and you can't do it that way. So it just goes to show the digital world that they want all of us to be in is not good for us. Like I said in the poll, how much freedom do you have in a digital world? Not that much, but it doesn't end there. So smartphones, smart TVs, what about Wi-Fi 3D mapping? Yeah, this information I know is about a year old now, but not everyone knows about this. So we're going to break some truths here, okay? So if you don't know about this, prepare to be bloody mind blown. It's unbelievable. Let me try and find out where it is. Here we go. Boom. You guys ready? Okay. Privacy protection or intrusion. There's new tech that uses Wi-Fi to see people through walls. Look at this. This is like practically 1 year, exactly a year ago, with 2 days included when this come out. Okay. Absolutely true. So you've got a Wi-Fi router or a hub in your property, and that is literally filling up every square inch inside your house with this Wi-Fi invisible signal, which all of these gadgets can connect wirelessly. All right, look what it does. It looks through the walls, the signals are bouncing off everywhere, and it projects a 3D image. Okay, anywhere in your house when the Wi-Fi is on, you are seen. It's freaky as hell. The experiments that they've done, like I say, this was released publicly last year, 1 year ago. So there's a very high chance right now that if you are listening or you are using your Wi-Fi device, if someone wanted to, they could literally see you inside your own home. Yes, it's true. 3D representations of humans using RGB pixels of a flat image. So basically, yeah, you can build up imagery with all of that, which is bouncing around your house. How freaky is that? Now, personally, I don't do comics and stuff. I've grown out of that when I was about 18. So we're talking Marvel and all of that sort of thing. Let me see if I can find it here. So, Batman Sonar Wi-Fi Spy. You type that in, and I think it's this video here. I can't show it because the video will just get pulled pretty much because of copyright. But if you was to watch that, bearing in mind, look at this, 2019, a long time ago. The technology was used. It was talking about it a long time ago, about how Wi-Fi can literally find people, monitor, spy, track, etc., etc. Oh, just quickly, thank you to Andy for that donation on PayPal. That's awesome. Appreciate that, dude. Cool. Yeah, Andy used the links below. That's awesome. Also, if you didn't know, if you come on and watch the live and didn't see the video earlier, there is going to be a prepper meet, 2 of them here in the UK. So look at my channel and you'll see information about that. People are already buying tickets, so you don't want to miss out on that one. But going back to this, CCTV. So yes, CCTV. Wow. Now, I remember sending a message to a friend of mine over in Northern Ireland. His name's Wayne. Some of you remember him as the Sergeant Fruitcake. We've been mates for years and we chat quite a lot. And I sent him this little clip of this video that this is a wearable device, which if you are wearing this and you are in range of a Wi-Fi signal, you can turn it on. And what will happen is this device will pulse fire signals to that Wi-Fi signal, and it will basically make it that any device which is connected to that signal won't be able to connect. And it's just pulsing really fast, like every, I don't know, hundreds of a second, like boom, 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 boom. And it's basically, you can wear this, you can go outside someone's house within the signal range, you can turn it on, it will connect to that Wi-Fi signal, and it will interrupt any device which is connected to that device in that house. So you've got, you know, all of the family, they've got their smartphones on, they've got the smart telly on, all of that sort of stuff, the smart fridge, the Internet of Things. We're going to go on to that in a bit. All of that's connected. All of a sudden, boom, the whole lot stopped. Nothing will connect. So everyone's going, I can't go on Instagram, I can't go on Facebook, I've got no signal, what's going on? So you go up to the Wi-Fi device, you turn it off, you turn it on again, it's still happening. All because this little device has decided to not jam it, but interrupt that frequency transmission signal from your Wi-Fi device. And guess what? That little wearable thing, £30. That's how much it cost. That's how easy it is to literally turn you off. If everything in your house requires internet, Wi-Fi, I don't do it. I don't believe in that Alexa crap. I don't do these little smart speakers. They are absolutely 100% a spy surveillance device, which is recording, monitoring, voice recognition, detection, everything. Why would you want that in house? Lots of people do it because they're lazy and they think they're cool. No, that device is literally linking up with AI. AI is getting clever, very clever. Why? Because gullible people who want a nice, easy, simple life are literally providing data to these monitoring devices, building AI into some really highly advanced, clever bit of kit. The more data that you feed all of this stuff, the faster and more intelligent it's going to get. We're not even going to talk about the Terminator films and Skynet. That's another day. We got nearly 900 people in the chat. Pretty cool. So yes, CCTV. Lots of that is connected with Wi-Fi. Just like I said, you can really easily interrupt that with these cheap little devices to turn it off. So you've got home security, you've got a shop, you've got all of these CCTV cameras which are all linked and require the internet and the Wi-Fi connection. Guess what? You disrupt that Wi-Fi signal, no security. Some people were spending thousands on all of this tech. Now, the best way to go, like I say, is analog. Use wires, use analog. It can't be hacked. Okay, it's not digital. It's not required an internet connection, certainly not a Wi-Fi connection. So it's very, very hard or practically impossible to hack. So you are going to be in an extremely vulnerable position if you've got all of these technical digital devices all around the home. What about contactless digital payments? Contactless digital payments. Now, if I can find it, like I said, I like to shut everything down because of the storm. Let me just type in what I did before. Yeah, there we go. Right. Let me just open that up. Now, I've actually showed this article on a live stream some time ago, but I feel it's totally relevant for what I'm going to talk about, okay? We're talking about people who go into shops for whatever reason to buy something with their card and use contactless payment, okay? I want you to see this. 6 in 10 free cash machines will have disappeared from UK high streets by the end of the decade as Brits go cashless, research finds, okay? Look at this, what I've highlighted. 5 years ago, there was 50,000 free ATMs. Wow. 15,000 left. This was last year. Look at this. Since last year, 1,250 bank branches have been shut or put on notice of closure, according to Link. This was a while ago already. Lloyds Banking Group announced a further 45 branches to be axed by August last year. You've probably been seeing this everywhere, okay? I've seen it personally where I am too, and no doubt you've been seeing the same sort of thing. The ATM network cost about £420 million a year to operate, with £400 million spent on the equipment and 20 million quid covering Link and other running costs. Like I say, you use cash, you are going to hold on to some degree of privacy. Every time you use that contactless digital payment, yes, it's easy. Yes, it's really quick. It's really convenient. How many times have you experienced going into a shop and the cashier person would say, I'm really sorry, but it's cash only. Our Wi-Fi's gone down, or our card readers are not working for whatever reason. They're being updated. We're waiting for a software update. It's gone offline. We can't get it back on. We can't take any transactions, only cash. So to me, that's good news. I always pay cash anyway. And I think it's really good to see people go, oh, okay, I need to go to a cash point. I need to get some cash out, go back into the store where their trolley's full up with food and groceries, etc., only to find, where's the cash point? They're closing down, Jack. They're doing it on purpose or by design. Okay, so IoT. Now this is really interesting. Let me talk about this. You know, when I said, well, the World Economic Forum wants everything connected. Well, let me see. Look at this. What is IoT? The Internet of Things describes the network of physical objects, things, that are embedded with sensors, software, and other technologies for the purpose of connecting and exchanging data with other devices and systems over the internet. Okay? IoT, Internet of Things. They're not really showing any examples. It's just loads of flashy graphics, to be honest. But there's one there. I don't know if you can see it, but this is what they want smart homes to be. Every single device that can have a signal on there, a Wi-Fi signal, will be literally become ordinary. It's absolutely frightening. Can you imagine living in this box with the frequency and all of the radio waves and everything else bumping around inside there, all of this pulsing digital information? It is not going to do the human being any good whatsoever. Okay, so the Internet of Things, that's where they want everyone to be. So what is the main fundamental thing which the IoT would require? You guessed it, smart meters. Okay, smart meters. Oh my God, smart meters. Don't get me started on these evil things. Okay, smart meters. Now, the thing about digital, when you boil away the piss, all it is it's binary, 0 and 1. Okay, 0 being off, 1 being on. It's very easy to turn things on and off. So you've got a smart meter. Whether it's your choice, you move somewhere and it's in there, or whatever it is, you got one. Okay, unbelievable. There is lots of talk going around in the last 6 months or so that it's very easy to turn that smart meter off remotely. Just literally shut it off. You've got no electricity in your house for whatever reason. Okay, so at the moment, in the extreme case that that event would likely happen, would probably be a non-payment of a bill or a series of bills, moreover. Okay, that's plausible, likely, to be frank. Fast forward a few years from now, where everything has become digitalized. So you've got digital ID. You're going to need your digital ID to go on all your social media accounts. We're going to get onto that in a sec too. That's quite scary, and that was being talked about years ago. And I'll show you the report. Frightening. So yes, everything's going to be connected. All right. So if you say something naughty, like I'm probably doing right now on social media, they could literally just turn your electricity off. If you have an electric car, they could just turn it off. What sort of freedom is that? It's not, is it? That's slavery, pretty much. That's control, which is where all this is heading if we don't do anything about it. Now, if that doesn't fire a rocket up your ass, I don't know what will, because they are looking at doing this over between now and 2030. 6 years. Trust me, that 6 years is going to go real fast. There's going to be so many distractions, so much going on. It's going to actually feel like time itself is speeding up. It's going to be an incredible journey, but that's ultimately where they want all this to go. Okay, so yes. But another thing I read somewhere, where was it? I think it was mid this morning when I was looking into smart meters. Someone was saying online that if they wanted to, they could literally turn up the ampage remotely on your smart meter, causing all of the cables in the house to heat up and therefore catch fire. Wow. Who remembers the dumbs, what was going on in the Californian wildfires a few years back, when you had thousands and thousands of acres and hectares of woodland? The houses were burnt to a crisp, but all of the trees around it were absolutely okay. Now, I tried on a live stream just pulling that up to show people, and guess what? All of that information has been hidden already. We've already talked about censorship. And the live stream I done the other day, the main concern for the immediate 2 years, starting from this year to the World Economic Forum, is disinformation and misinformation. Okay? So it is very, very hard to find the facts. It's been hidden, altered. I mean, look at that, what I've done last night with the Mandela effect. Unbelievable. The response, the emails, is just breaking my head. It's unbelievable. The stuff that people have been telling me about their experiences with the Mandela effect. Crazy. So, yeah, trying to survive with your mind intact during these times, it's not as easy as some of you might think. And most of it is down to the fact that they want everyone digitalized, their life digitalized. And like I keep preaching and saying on my channel, if you feel that you're getting really stressed out, triggered, wound up, upset, losing your rag, go analog, go somewhere analog, okay? Go to the woods, go to the beach, go to the park, away from all of that digital crap. I've been saying it for ages and I will keep on saying it. So the most fundamental thing which is linked to the digital ID is the digital wallet. This is happening already in certain parts of Europe. It's already happening in Africa. It's being trialed in India. Don't even get me started about South America. If you was to see what's going on there with digital ID, whoa, digital wallets, crazy. Look at the European Union. Yeah, I still can't believe that people voted to remain in the European Union. Look how crazy it is over there right now. I mean, there's some of you probably watching right now who are in Europe. My God, the European Commission was completely unelected. No one voted for them, yet they're, who do they think they are? Oh, it drives me crazy. So digital wallet, cryptocurrency. Yes. Now, I know some of you dabble and invest in crypto. Personally, it's not for me. I've had friends tell me about their experiences in the past that if you want to get into crypto, you really are going to need to have a really good base depth of knowledge regards cybersecurity, okay? Because if you are using crypto and you don't really know much or if at all about cybersecurity, you are treading on thin ice. One day, your digital wallet will be rinsed, it'll be gone, it'll be empty. It happened to a friend of mine, and he paid someone to get that money back, and they couldn't. He still had to pay them, so he was like disillusioned by the whole thing. What he does now is 10% of his wages every single month, he buys physical silver. Yeah. Over the next couple of years, silver's going to be worth an absolute fortune. Fact. Just watch. Come back in a couple of years and tell me I'm wrong. So, the icing on the cake is the central bank digital currency. Now, if you don't understand what that means, you have got a lot of reading to do. We've broke this on this channel for well over a year now, maybe a year and a half. Now, our wonderful Prime Minister wants to get this up and running, fully operational next year, just over 12 months from now. If he and his cronies are successful, wow. Wow, 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 wow. We need to do whatever we can to refuse, to halt, to store, to stop anything that is linked to digital ID. Digital ID is going to be essential for the new world order. I can't even believe I'm saying that phrase. It's sort of been forgotten about. It's always WEF now and blah, blah, blah. But it's essentially what it is. The new world order, order ab chaos, order out of chaos. They want everything connected digitally. Everyone's on board. Then they are going to purposely launch a global cyber attack, probably going to come out of Russia. Okay. Don't forget, Vladimir Putin is a World Economic Forum young leader. As soon as Ukraine was at war with Russia, Vladimir Putin's image and his association with the World Economic Forum vanished like a thief in the night. But thanks to Wayback Machine, we can tell categorically that yes, Vladimir Putin is a World Economic Forum young global leader. There's movers and shakers as well. Some of you researchers know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So that is likely to be the scenario where, can you imagine it? A global cyber attack where everything relies on being digital. Like I said earlier, this is quite interesting because when I said about the World Economic Forum's first short vision, 2 years, so this year and next year, basically, their primary concerns and objectives are disinformation and misinformation online. So they are going to be coming down like a ton of bricks people like me, people like anyone else out there trying to get the word out, to give people a heads up what's coming down the pipe. They are calling us liars, disinformation, and they want the world to believe that they are being benevolent and kind and trustworthy and honest. Well, anyone with a grain of salt can work out that that is the complete opposite of what they are trying to portray. So, social media. Again, social media accounts could soon require digital ID in France and in the UK. Look at this. Digital ID may soon be a requirement for social media participation, as both France and the UK have taken steps toward the ban of anonymous social media accounts. Fact. So, if you want to carry on using social media, you know, posting stuff on Twitter, enjoying your time on Instagram or Facebook, or going on Signal or Telegram, sharing information, etc., guess what? They are trying to make it that the only way that you're going to be able to log into your account is with your digital ID. No digital ID, no social media account. Yes, we have got to really start thinking outside the box. Personally, saw all this coming, and I've got a website being constructed because at some point I will not be on social media. And that's going to be the primary reason why, because there's no way I'm getting a digital ID. Whether they want me to have it or not, I'm fundamentally standing firmly against it. You can do what you want. I hope I've given you enough food for thought in this presentation tonight about the perils of the digital world. They paint it to be a very rosy, beautiful, lovely part of the world to be in. It's the opposite. So many things can go wrong. Imagine a global cyber attack, which the World Economic Forum continually keep talking about. It's just a matter of time. Speaking of that, look at this. This only come out the other day, the 11th of January, okay? It's the 22nd now, 2024. The Global Cybersecurity Outlook 2024. You're free to download the PDF, but it just goes into, they like to use the word resilience quite a lot, and robust, okay? The report illuminates major findings and puts a spotlight on the widening cyber inequality and the profound impact of emerging technologies. So what they are basically saying is they are seeing AI as a threat, which could cause a global cyber attack. Personally, I think they are going to do everything they can to make sure it happens. It is not going to be an accident. It will be planned. And when this happens, expect SHTF, okay? There's no gentle, wishy-washy, weak, pussy way to say it. When that cyber attack happens, the global cyber attack, shit's going to get real, shall we say. Yeah, like I said, everything will be connected. Everything will be digitalized, okay? All of the traffic systems, all of the traffic lights, all of the street lights, all of a sudden they won't work, or they might start going in reverse. Can you imagine the problem with traffic? It's going to literally gridlock every single city, town, hamlet all over the world at the exact same time. Yeah. And knowing them, they'll probably do it right in the middle of nighttime. So when you need lights to see during traveling around in the dark or whatever. Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting to sort of roughly understand. I suspect there's more people living in the northern hemisphere than there are in the southern hemisphere. I would say there are more developed countries living in the northern hemisphere than there are in the southern hemisphere. So I would suspect that that will be attacked first. When you got the time difference from west to east, when would be an ideal time to do that? I suspect they are going to go for the west. So we're looking at America, Canada, and we're talking Europe and UK. So you marginalize that sector of the planet. Boom. All at exactly the same time. All of a sudden, there's, say, pretty much, what would you say, a global power cut? Can you imagine every single device that requires power or a Wi-Fi signal or the internet or some digital connection will just cease to be instantly. I can't even comprehend how scary that will be. A good film to watch, if you've not seen it, go on YouTube, type in the word blackout, all in one word, space 2013. It's an hour long, give or take. Very, very good. It's sort of theorized with experts what would happen if there was complete shutdown of electricity in the UK for, I think it was a week, and what would happen day 1, day 2, day 3. And they went through the theory of certain generators would stop working at this time. They expect this to happen, social chaos, etc. Yeah, we are talking SHTF, shit at the fan. So the plan is to get the whole world digitalized, all linked together, then smash it all to bits of a global cyber attack. The whole world's going to freak out. It's going to become a nightmare. Then all the lights will come on, and it will be the start of the 4th industrial revolution. So, yes. Welcome to the New World Order. Welcome to you can't do anything without our say-so. Welcome to central bank digital currency. Welcome to the social credit system. Welcome to all of the left people grassing up the right people, getting them put into prison and taken out. It's going to be bloody horrendous. And that is literally predicted within the next 6 years, for real. So what can we do about all of this? Well, personally, I've been given it serious thought today. I have a smart TV. I don't really use it, to be fair. I would watch the odd DVD once in a blue moon. My son will play the odd PlayStation or the Xbox game for an hour and put it down, and that's it. So very, very light use. We definitely don't watch telly. Definitely don't watch Netflix or anything else. All that TV is used for is DVDs and a game console. There is not even an aerial connection for the TV. Because I don't watch telly anyway, I think it's crap. But even I have been considering giving away or selling it and replacing it with an LCD telly, not an LED one. I'm not that keen on LEDs. I think there's a reason why lots of people are struggling with their eyesight, because LEDs are so bright and bad for your eyes. Can you imagine if you was a high user for a TV or a smartphone, the amount of LED lights which are literally turned up really bright? The human eye is not built for that amount of fake light exposure. So LEDs, no. LCD and plasma TVs, there's a very fine line between them, etc. But I know the lifespan's not that long, but personally, I don't plan on using it much at all anyway, like I've just outlined. And sometimes if you're lucky, you can pick up one of these TVs that hasn't been used that much. Don't forget, the lifespan of these TVs all depends on how long they've actually been turned on for. So you've got a brand new TV and it's only been used for 100 hours. And it's been sat in someone's room for like 20 years. Guess what? It's still going to have a relatively good lifespan. Okay. It's all about how many times it starts up. The liquid crystal display is in operation and it's burning through that process. They could last ages, and it's a lot better for your eyes. And of course, you've got zero surveillance. I'm seriously considering doing that very soon. So Sony Bravias have a good reputation. 38, 40-inch TV, no bigger. I don't want one of these stupid great big tellies. It's just ridiculous. So that is going to be considered. Also, the smartphone as well. That is a very big thing to ditch, to cancel the SIM-only contract and to go back to using the old Nokia phones. I've got carrier bag full of old 2, 3, and some 4G phones. So, shall we have a look? Because there's a lot of BS out there. Oh, you can't use those phones anymore. Well, do you want to learn something? I think you do. Look at this. Can 2G phones still be used? All operators have agreed with government to switch off 2G and 3G by 2033. Okay. Look, as of 2023, since last year, 2G is still available across the UK. Now, let me tell you this. Some of my veteran viewers will understand this, right? Network Rail, I worked for Network Rail for over 16 years, 16 years working for Network Rail, okay? Guess what? The entire Network Rail infrastructure runs on a 2G network. Yeah, fact. It's true. It's not BS. And do you know how long it will take to update the entire Network Rail infrastructure from 2G to, say, 5G? Do you know how long that will take? A bare minimum of 10 years. 10 years. So, yes, you can still use 2 and 3G phones in the UK, but be advised, check with the providers first. I looked into this 5 years ago, and I found out that the company Free do not offer that technology. Okay, there are companies that do. So do your homework, do your research, and you will find that yes, you can use a 2 and a 3G phone and get a signal, a network, and you can phone and text. And don't forget, there's calculators on there, there's games on there, all that other stuff as well. So it's not as bad as you think. Who's heard of Björn Andreas Bull Hansen? It's a guy out in Norway. Some of you have seen me and Björn talk before. We met up at the Bushcraft show and we've done a few live streams and whatnot together. A good friend of mine, actually. And he stopped using his smartphone 3 years ago, over 3 years ago now. And do you know how long it took him to get over the fact that he no longer, had a smartphone? 1 day. 1 day. That's how long it took him to get over the fact that I haven't got a smartphone anymore. So, yeah, it's not as hard as you think. Okay. But with all that being said, what else? Digital. We touched on it earlier, and I spoke about this 5 years ago now. Yes, your electric vehicle could be hacked. Look at this. Unbelievable. Absolutely brainwashed. Brought into the whole system. It's true. If you go through this report, where is it? When and how are EVs vulnerable to hacking? So basically when it's being charged. There we go, the charging station. Okay. So when you go through some of that, and there's been programs, I think Top Gear done something a long time ago as well. And some people have been doing some tests. And you know what? If you really know what you're doing, you can access an electric vehicle remotely and take over the controls. Yes, you can. Like I said, anything digital that needs the internet can be hacked. Put it that way. It's all about a matter of someone really wanting to. So they've got the MO to do so. Financial. What's in it for the hacker? So, yes, people will be getting targeted. They already are. It's just a matter of time. Well, this is cool. Holistic Media are gifted 5 memberships. Well, do you know what? I need to understand how this works. Can someone let me know in the live chat? Because I've seen this a few times. I don't know how 5 people get one of those. Have they got to message this person? I don't know. I don't know how it works. Can someone let me know how that works? Either way, that sounds really, really awesome. Yeah, data equals new gold. Do you know what? A friend of mine who went into cybersecurity told me that years ago. Data is the new gold, pretty much. So, yeah, I know. Bloody scary. Sir David Cameron. I know, crazy. Thank you, Simon, for that donation over on PayPal. Really appreciate that, sir. Helps keep this channel going. So yeah, we're talking about dumb TVs, which I just talked about, and dumb phones, as they're calling them now. So if you get rid of your smart TV and your smart phone, and you haven't really got any smart devices in your house, no smart meter, no smart speaker, you're literally empowering yourself, and you're literally providing yourself with a much more high degree of freedom and privacy. Yeah, privacy. If you've got a smart telly in your house, you've got no privacy. I don't care how aware or awake you think you are, that's a fact. The only time that you're going to get around that is if you know exactly how these new smart tellies work. You take it all apart and you remove the cameras and the microphones. And I wouldn't put it past Samsung and other manufacturers to put secondary sort of microphones and cameras that are hidden out the way. So if one gets compromised, it will automatically link up to the next one and carry on surveilling you in your home unbeknownst. God forbid if someone's got a smart telly in their bedroom. If you have, guess what? They've seen it all and they've heard it all. How does that make you feel? Violated. That's a good word. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Exactly, it is. So I think people are going to be buying and selling the older technologies with TVs and phones to start with. The old DVD player, that doesn't need the internet. And you've got physical discs so you can watch a film. I've got physical books. I will never ever have a Kindle. I would never ever have an iPhone. Christ, if you want to be controlled, you like being controlled, get something from Apple. Pretty much. I can't stand the whole concept of Apple. I hate it. It's like I want to get some music. Oh, you got to buy it through the Apple iStore. Oh, okay, but you can't physically own it. You've got to have it through the cloud or something like that. So if you've got no internet connection or Spotify, you've got no sounds. I said to friends recently that all of my music I download onto my phone and it's stored on an SD card. Periodically, everything on my phone memory and SD card gets dumped on an external hard drive kept in a Faraday cage. Yes, I back up everything every year, sometimes every 6 months. I know. Get yourself a 10 terabyte external hard drive. Get yourself some off-grid power source to operate it. Get it linked up to your laptop. Do not use an internet connection. And you can still have all of your family photographs, your family films and videos, music, documents, books, where you won't need an internet connection. Yeah, so you are doing something to remain in control of your own privacy. Don't forget, they don't want you to have privacy. To me, privacy and freedom literally go hand in hand. They are both pretty much the same. Okay. The worst person that you can spend time with is someone who says this: I've got nothing to hide, so it doesn't bother me. Those people, if you ask me, throw them off a cliff. We've got no time for idiots like that. They are, by definition, part of the problem. Okay. They are just so brainwashed and stupid to realize that what they are saying, well, it's pointless. It's, you know what I mean? You've come up against these morons. It's just ridiculous. So when you tie all of that digitalization, the advancement of technology, especially the advancement of AI and quantum computing, lots of people are going to be out of work. People's jobs are going to be replaced by robots and or artificial intelligence. It's coming, whether you like it or not, whether you think it's years away, it won't affect you. It's going to have a big impact, and this decade, 100%, that is what they are planning. Okay, so We have all heard of universal basic income. Already they are using this in other countries around the world. Okay, not just because it's not happening in the UK or in America, it's happening to other countries. All right, India. Do you know what's going on in India? Google it, have a look. Scary stuff. Oh my God, what is it? Over 1.3 billion people in India. Digital IDs, unbelievable. So universal basic income, they literally want you on a very carefully worked out sum of money, which you are going to have to jump through so many privacy violating hoops. It's going to boil your piss big time. It actually is going to do your head in. How many of you who have been on, who have tried universal credit? Yeah, when you apply to get that, whoa, man, talk about they want to know the inside of your, you know what, unbelievable. And if you don't toe the line, if you miss an appointment, or if you do one little thing wrong, or you'll fail to jump through that hoop, or whatever it is, guess what? Boom. They stop, or they, you know, they remove some of your money. Yeah, so basically they are controlling you at that point, because you have removed yourself from earning your own money. You are relying on that wonderful government and the state to support you financially. So when you think about, you know, if and when you used to work and used to pay taxes and national insurance, like loads of us have done for years and years and years, when you really want that help, guess what they do? They kick you right in the bollocks. They kick you right in the bollocks. They burst out of your mouth and they laugh at you. And they go, there you go. Struggle on us. That's our lovely government here to help. Some of you are already on universal credit, and you know what it's like. You know how hard it is, especially with the inflation and everything else. It's just ridiculous. But that's where they want everyone. They basically want the extreme rich, the extreme wealthy. Less than 1% of the global population will be in the extreme wealthy club. And everyone else, 99% plus probably, are going to be extremely poor. We've already been seeing the attack on the middle classes. Yeah, they are getting hammered big time. Yeah, the disposable income that people used to have 20 years ago, gone. And it's going fast, big time. And they won't stop. They won't stop till they got it all. They won't stop till they get everyone homeless. They got everyone's savings, all of their money. And yes, it's absolutely corrupt. Of course it is. But what can we do? Well, let me tell you this. People are waking up every single day. They are. Whether you don't believe it, you can't see it, it's happening. When you've got a following like I have, and when you watch other YouTube content creators with similar followings, Richard Vobes, Archaics, Neil McCoy Ward, all of these people, do you know when we speak to each other, and we do, when we talk about some of the emails that we get on a daily basis, okay, when you sort of put all of that together, I know that there's so many people waking up to the bullshit. I know, and I see it. I'm sure some of you do too. There's more of us than you probably think, because if you haven't got access to shitloads of online bloody friends everywhere, you're not really going to know. But let me tell you this, it's happening. Oh my God, the amount of people are waking up. And do you know what the general acceptable term of acceptance is now? Mass non-compliance. That seems to be the only way. But it's only going to work if the majority do it at the same time. It's not going to work if little groups of people. We need en masse to do. No, sorry, you've taken the piss way too long. We've had it up to here. No, all of a sudden, guess what? We're not going to pay any taxes or nothing like that. And we're going to cancel all of these things. Tough. And guess what? They're going to have to listen at that point, because when they realize that they can't control people because they've had it up to here, they've lost the fear, and they just said, no, people aren't stupid. We are going to find a way around the system. We are going to go back to bartering. We're going to be working for each other and helping each other, because we've relied on governments and religions for so long. Look where it's got us. You've got to be a prize twat to think that religion and governments are helping. Look around. How much suffering have you seen for decades, hundreds of years? Something needs to change, and it starts with the majority of people saying, no, stick it up your kazoo. That's exactly what's going to happen. And we're not that far. We're not that far. Some people are saying this year, time will tell. Hell, I haven't got a crystal ball. So I don't really know. So that's all I wanted to talk about tonight, about the fourth industrial revolution, how they want to get everyone hooked onto digital things and the internet. Just when they've got all of the people on board, boom, expect to see a global cyber attack where all of that stuff gets taken offline. People have emptied bank accounts. God knows what. It's going to be a nightmare. So my advice is to do what you feel you need to do to ensure the safety and well-being of yourself first and your loved ones, so you don't need to rely on anyone else. Start storing food. If you lost your job, guess what? You've got all the food already. You haven't got to worry about money to buy food. You've already got it. Do something about getting off-grid power. So when we have power cuts, and there's been some last night and this morning, do something where you can carry on powering up your devices to communicate with your loved ones, or whatever else that you need electricity for. Okay? Make sure that you become as self-sufficient as you can possibly be. Make your self-sufficiency a priority. If you can't afford it, make changes. Guess what? I've been struggling like everyone else. I've had to find £2,500 to fix my knackered old 4x4 all over Christmas. It's been a nightmare. There's hardly anything left in the bank. Guess what I've done? I stopped smoking. Yeah, I used to smoke them little cigars every day. Guess what? Yeah, £70 a week that was costing. And I haven't smoked a single one of those for nearly a month now. So the money that I'm going to be saving by doing that is going to be offset to everything else with the financial situation. And there's people out there I know who say, oh, I can't afford it. I can't afford to buy extra food. I can't afford to buy a solar battery bank or whatever it is. I can't afford to get a food dehydrator. I can't afford to get a vacuum sealer. But some of these people, not all, spend a fortune on getting tattoos on a regular basis. They go to the pub once a week to meet their mates. They bet on football matches. They buy scratch cards. They find all of this money for all of this crap. But when it comes down to the really important stuff, which people should be doing, they say they haven't got the money. Do you know what I say? Bullshit. Find a way. There's always a way. There really is. If you really need to find a way, you will. It's down to you, because guess what? No one's coming to help. You need to get off your ass and do it yourself. And that goes for all sorts. I got friends in wheelchairs who are struggling. They find a way. If they can do it, I'm sure anyone can. You've got to really want to. Don't forget, the more self-sufficient you are, the less reliant on anyone else, government, medication, whatever it is, the less reliant you are on anyone else, the more privacy and freedom you are going to get. Now, who doesn't want freedom? Freedom is something we should fight for. Freedom is something we should get off of our asses and do something about. No one's going to come along and say, there you go, have a nice big carry bag of freedom on us. There's a good lad. Well done. No, it's not like that. If you want something, you've got to do it. If you can't do it, find a way. Sell something. Do something. Do another job. Work online. Whatever it is. There's people making money left, right, and Chelsea out there now. It's crazy. Just because you're not, you can if you really, really wanted to. Don't forget, the only person stopping you from doing anything is you. So, sink or swim. You guys are going to survive and have freedom, or you don't. It's as simple as that. So I'd like to thank everyone who's donated as well. I didn't expect the two on PayPal earlier. You guys are awesome. We got a new member as well, which is unbelievable. Wowee. Let's have a look. Muffers and Mayfers and Chasers, Big Adventures. Welcome, congratulations. Awesome. Oh, look at that. We got some more. I didn't notice this. Owen, thank you for that. That's what the boat people are for. And do you know what? I remember reading some comment earlier when we started that all of the boat people, they're going to be the first to have digital IDs. Yeah. Too right and all. Learn to live totally off grid. Do you know what that is? That's it in a nutshell. Do whatever you can to be as self-sufficient as possibly can. The more reliant you are on the government or anyone else, the more they've got you by the balls. And if you like them holding your balls, don't do nothing. Just sit back and let them hold your balls if that's what you want. I ain't going out like that, mate. No, I'm going out fighting if I have to. And I know lots of you will. I'm sick of it, all this BS. But don't forget, there's always a way. But you need to find a way to do it. And you will if you really want to. So everyone who's donated, taken part in the live chat, that's awesome. Thanks to everyone who's watching this on the replay. Don't forget there is links below this video. Check them out. It really helps that you wouldn't believe. And of course, the moderators. You guys are fantastic, seriously. And the blue spanners are just incredible. And the results of the poll, wow. Exactly. It shows itself for what it actually is. Don't tread on me. Good to see you again, dude. Pilgrim, do not comply. Milwana, awesome. Salty dog. So yeah, you guys, you take care. Thanks for watching. Stay funky.